Welcome to the BTG official overview. This is Fernando Laguna. I'm co-hosting the BTG Ambassador Club. With me today is JR. He is one of the founding affiliates who started BTG. He has 25 years background in the industry. He's been with our amazing founder, Randy Jeffers, now for over 13 years. It really is truly a pleasure to introduce to you the man who got this whole thing started, JR.
Hey, thanks, Fernando. And it's wonderful to be with you. We're going to kind of cover one of the most amazing, if not the most amazing, business opportunities on the planet. You know, we reinvented our compensation strategy in 2014 called Revenue Shared Squared. And so we're going to be talking today, Fernando, about how this helps underprivileged and orphan kids all over the world. And I think the three most important things to try to take home here in the very beginning is to understand this is global in scope, right? We have 100 countries that we can participate in. And I know you're really excited to go back to your home country, the Philippines.
Yes, I do.
Next week. And of course, we have an amazing event in the next couple days, as we do every month in Las Vegas, which is where BTG is founded and we have our operations. And the second thing is this amazing revenue shared compensation plan. Now, you have created an enormous amount of activity and it personally sponsored a lot of people. Now, why was that? I mean, what makes this different than all the other programs you've participated in over the last couple decades?
Because, the cause is what I've truly, since I was 24, I've committed my life to. That is helping children. I've gotten accommodations from the mayor of San Diego for working with San Diego at risk. Now I can make a living, an enormous amount of money, going out and doing something I truly love doing, that's helping underprivileged kids.
Okay, and then the third thing that we want to talk about is how part-time it can be for somebody. So you don't have to kind of risk the farm, so to speak. There doesn't need a lot of cash outlay. And what I like the best is how simple it can be. So before we go any further, though, the legal department always, reminds me we've got to get the disclaimers out of the way. So I'll take this one on. And it says if you make a purchase for BTG180, you're purchasing an e-commerce subscription or you're purchasing what we call BizBucks to use for purchasing products and services. You're not purchasing stock or any form of investment or equity. You must actually use the BizBucks that you purchase or give them away as samples to help grow your business. So affiliates present our products to others in a misleading manner or in a way that leads the buyer to believe that he or she is making an investment or purchasing equities will be terminated, and all commissions and awards will be forfeited. You must read the entire How It Works section on the company's website and the legal disclaimers. Now, automatic translation are provided for your convenience. However, the English version terms and conditions are authoritative and binding. If there's ever a conflict in the meaning between languages, the English version shall be considered authoritative. Now, to save time, I'm not going to read through the disclosure. If you'd like to do so, please feel free to stop the video now. Now, kind of stay on topic here, Fernando. Our company goal is to become the largest company in the world that helps underprivileged and orphan kids. Most people are really not aware, and I wasn't aware, that there's 150 million orphan kids in the world.
That's incredible.
Incredibly sad, right? So our whole program was designed from the very beginning to take a dent out of this I call insanity. Now, what makes matters worse is there's approximately 41,000 kids per day that die from malnutrition or starvation. So
I also heard that only 1 out of 5 children in Haiti make it to 5 years old.
Yes, absolutely correct. And so there's a real purpose and a mission statement behind our program. So let's kind of cover the products and services. Now, instead of trying to cover everything, we're going to kind of gloss over. We do have a cashback program, a daily deals that give that's coming online. We are a manufacturer of our own products that you can find at the BTG Mall. But the most important thing here, and I know you did some big numbers with another company last year out of a penny auction concept. And of course, we have one of the most robust penny auctions on the planet that can operate out of 100 countries. You can find the details at btgpennyauctions.com. Now, the auction, right, is about entertainment and savings. It's not really about sales, is it?
No, it's fun to do, and just you play it at your leisure.
Absolutely. And so what we have then is BizBucks. That's our version of Biz. Now remember, this is out of 100 countries. And so let's do a quick breakdown. So the largest penny auction in the world to date, and we hope to surpass them, they offer the same price point on their retail. So these are people that don't want to really have the responsibility of being in business for themselves, nor are they really interested in making money. But they do want to help the kids, and they do like to play the auction. So we're going to offer them a BizBuck at 65 cents, and that goes towards the auction only. Now, for those of us who are affiliates. We have our own personal subscriptions. They're only 50 cents a bid, and you can use them both in the auction and in the mall. And then the Premier BizBuck is $1. Now, the reason it's $1 is it does three things. You can use it in the auction, you can use it in the mall, and it also can create revenue. And we'll kind of get into that as we go through revenue shared squared. Now, the auction, if you're not aware, is very fun, very entertaining. I like to say sometimes a little addicting, right? So,
little, very.
I had a great time last year. I won a lot of amazing stuff, and I averaged just over 90% off on about $30,000 worth of products for myself personally. So I think it's truly amazing.
Can you say that again? How much? How many?
It was over $30,000 worth of merchandise. And so, a lot of fun. I gave most of that away, though, to people in need. So once again, it's just an amazing program. But those are the people, including myself, when I first heard about an auction, I didn't understand how it worked. I just couldn't see the logic of how a company could survive offering 90% off retail. And then, of course, I found out how it worked. So here we see a certified winner, right? It's an LG TV. We see here the price is $699.99. We'll call it $700. We see here the certified winner got it, though, for $3.68. And the reason that can happen that way is because in an auction, which the company can put hundreds, even thousands of different products up every day that people can bid on, right? I like the fact that no one's forcing me into a particular line of a product or a brand name. I get to pick between, all these different merchants and different products and services. But every time a BizBuck is purchased and then put into the auction, it only drives the price up 1 penny at a time. And then there's a timer, right? So there's the entertainment and the sense of urgency. It only lasts for 15 seconds. If there's another bid, the timer resets. And if there's no new bid within 15 seconds, the last person in wins. In this case, when it got to $3.68, there were no more bids. And then the end user got a great product at an amazing, this is like 98% off. And so as we go into more certified winners, let's talk a little bit about the formula. And the people can see here on the screen the mathematical formula. So if we look at 5 brand name items here, right? I think everybody knows what an iPad is. And Victoria's Secret, and there's expensive jewelry, and then there's furniture, and really anything up to the imagination we can put into an auction. And we see here the winner's price in green. Now the math here shows us that all the bids that went in to drive all those prices up to in green, we see that there's over 13,000 bids that were put into the auction for these 5 products. And if we do the simple math here, right, and you multiply that by 50 cents up to $1 a bid, we see the company turned a huge profit. And the really good news is the affiliates that are participating in the company, part of Revenue Shared Squared, get to share up to 60% of the daily net revenue, giving us a win-win formula. The company turns a profit, stays healthy. Every bid helped a kid. And then, of course, the winner's got to walk away with stuff between 80 and 90% off. Truly an amazing, amazing concept. Now, there's 2 simple steps to set up your initial websites, right? Nobody needs to know anything about, the internet, in depth. And then to get your initial BizBucks getting started. So we have 4 packages, starting from free. Then we have the basic at $250, the standard at $1,000, and the advanced at $2,500. Now we see here that the BizBucks are a direct ratio of 1-to-1. So the basic package for $250 gets us 250 Premier BizBucks. We also get 250 reward points, which goes to the daily revenue pool. We get a retail commission depending on what package we pick. Obviously, the higher the commitment, the higher the reward. And then the most important thing is the matching bonus. And we're going to get into that more in depth later in our program. So we have then the second commitment, which is our monthly subscription package ranging from $10 outside the United States all the way to $250, which we call the Global Ambassador. Now, the great news is if we get 4, we don't have to pay anymore.
Nothing.
Now, in your first week, you sponsored how many people?
The first week, 42 personals.
So I think you got your get 4 and pay no more.
In the first hour and a half.
Okay. So it's something that somebody, if they get after it, they could do it in a day. Some people might take a month. Some people may minute to get there. But the purpose of the program is to give people the ability to get a business, get into it, and then the company just pays them every day, and they don't have to pay the company any more money. And I like that philosophy. Now, we have a part-time super simple business, and we say that because it only takes 2 customers. Now, remember, it's global in scope, It takes 2 customers to generate multiple streams of income. But the great news for just a regular person is if they get 4 affiliates, they can achieve the highest level of success with BTG180 utilizing our compensation strategy. And we have a whole arsenal of ways that people can make money, ranging from enroller bonuses, elite expansion bonuses, the mentor matching bonus. There's daily cash rewards and a whole lot of pools that people can qualify for. And we're going to kind of cover that in its entirety here in just a second. Now, Revenue Shared Squared, Fernando, is a program unlike any other program, right? From the traditional companies that came before, it was all based on what you did. And Revenue Shared Squared, the company creates the opportunity utilizing everybody around the world. So the important thing on this slide is understand that up to 60% of the revenue that's being collected is going back to the affiliates that are marketing and supporting the company. And that means 40 cents of every dollar is help covering the cost of the overhead. And then all the difference is going to children's causes. Now we see here on the left the daily income that we can generate through enroller bonuses, elite expansion bonuses, mentor matching bonuses, and daily cash rewards. And we see here on the right all the pools starting from community going all the way to presidential elite. Now what's amazing about this program is we're only going to build 2 teams, and we'll show that here in just a second, but it can take just the most average person, right? And they're going to build 2 teams and can take them from 0 all the way to what we call the Amazing Millionaire Club. So this is truly a unique program. Now in getting started, we have the opportunity to pick how we want to get started, ranging from free, going all the way to the advanced package for $2,500. Now it's important to understand that besides determining the amount of Premier BizBucks we get and the retail commission, there's a thing called mentor matching bonus, and that's going to be between 10%, 25, 50, and 100% of what our first 3 people accomplish, but more on that in a second. I think the important thing here to understand is we get paid, right? We can start earning income within 24 hours. Now, do you feel that that's really important in today's age, that people have immediate success?
Absolutely. It's a must.
So when we look at putting people into the system, now I know you are kind of not the norm. Obviously, you have had tremendous success over the years, and so you can hit the ground running. But the most average person is going to receive income from the very first person. Anybody we personally put into the system, we're going to get 15% of their Business in the Box subscription package. And so what we have then is, even if a person signed up for free and somebody else signed up and picked one of the Business in the Box packages between basic and advanced, they could get somewhere between $37.50 all the way to $375 on the very first person.
Isn't that awesome?
And I live in Thailand half the year, and I know you've traveled the world around, so this allows just the most average person to go out and have positive cash flow very quickly.
Well, in the Philippines, you only have to sell 1 pig instead of 3.
All right, so in building our team, we have 2 concepts, right? We have to cover here, and then I think when people grasp these 2 concepts, everything else falls into place. And the first thing is the mentor team. And we consider that the first 3 people they put into the system. Doesn't matter which package, doesn't matter subscription. It's just the first 3 people is the mentor team, and we can make up to 100% match, right, based on what we've committed to or upgraded to. And then the second thing is the 4th person on. And then some people can put a 4th person in and stop, and then some people like yourself can go into the 40s or even 100 people, and then that starts the Elite Expansion Team bonus program, and that's really exciting when we start to understand how this works. So the mentor team, once again, is just simply the first 3 people. And then from this point on, this is what a mentor team will look like, right, in our presentations. We have Jane is the person we're going to be talking about, and she has John, Mary, and Bob on her mentor team. And of course, she can make 15% of their Business in the Box package. And then we're only going to build 2 teams from this point on. So John, Mary, and Bob are her mentor team. She gets 15% on those first 3 orders, and then everybody else is going to go below these people down simply 2 teams. So the Elite Expansion Team is, in this case, Sue, and Jane not only gets 15% from the initial order because she's on the Elite Expansion Team, Jane gets another 20% on Sue's initial purchase. Now, Jane is not limited to Sue. She can put as many people in as she wants to, and so in this case, we've got Mark that's joined the program, and Lisa's joined the program based on Jane's personal effort. So when we look at this, we've got the mentor team established. Sue is starting the Elite Expansion Team, and now Sue created her own mentor team, right? Because Sue wants to be successful as well. And then this triggers a 20% coding bonus. So this BIAB is business in a box times 20%. It's going to be 20% of, let's say, $250, $1,000, or $2,500. Simple math. That means $50 to $500. And remember, there's 3 people on the mentor team. So that means when Sue's mentor team is established, Jane gets $150 to $1,500, and she might not even did the presentation.
So is that why I was able to make over $1,000 in the second day?
Absolutely. And so, a
So
lot
it's
of people
24 hours.
Yeah, well, a lot of people make money and they still don't understand the program, because the computer's going to calculate this stuff regardless if we understand it or not. So it doesn't stop, though, Fernando, with Sue creating her first mentor team. Now, the first 3 of the first 3 of the first 3, and this can go on and on, every time a mentor team is established, 20% is going to be paid to Jane in the coding money, but it doesn't wait till the 3 people are established. It pays each individual person going into the system. 20% is coded to Jane, which obviously can create hundreds, if not thousands of dollars immediately.
And that's daily.
This is all being paid daily. When the money is cleared, then the commissions are posted the next day in a person's virtual account.
This is my favorite part.
So obviously, having the ability to use the power of the internet to do marketing, use the power of leverage. In this case, we see here that Jane has put 8 people personally into the system. And we look at Sue, who created her mentor team. And remember, the first 3 of the first 3 can keep going on and on. And then let's just look at Pat in this case, and she does the same thing. So we see here that then Jane gets between $150 and $1,500 each time a mentor team is being established. And we haven't calculated what Jack, Lisa, Joan, Sam, Mike, or Dawn has done in this equation. So in supporting your elite expansion team, right, we still haven't talked about the mentor matching bonus yet, but we look here and let's just consider these people are just part-time, and Sue all the way through Joan have done, a decent amount of work, right? Sue has created 10 mentor teams, Pat 20, Lisa 5, Jack 15, Sam 30, and Joan 20. And then we add that all up, it's 100 mentor teams. So obviously, if Jane is supporting these people, that's a total of 300 people on her team. Now, it could happen in a month, it could happen in 6 months, it could happen a year, it may never happen. But remember, this is just for illustration purposes only, no guarantee of income. But the math is what it is. So the elite expansion bonuses to Jane in this case are going to be somewhere between $15,000 and $150,000. And this is only part of revenue shared squared. So I think Jane would be very excited. And her people in her elite expansion team are also excited because they know of Jane's success. So it's all about duplication. It's all about simplicity. It's all about using the tools like this particular video, to aid in explaining how the program works. And so
everybody come in at the big bag.
Everybody should come in at what makes them comfortable.
Absolutely.
And
but
so,
if you like to make a lot of money fast, get the big bag.
Okay, so when we look at the mentor matching bonus, now remember, we have not considered Jane personally working with her first 3 people. And so depending on Jane's personal commitment of the 3, the 250, the 1,000, or as you like to say, the big pack, will determine if she's going to make 10% matching on John, Mary, and Bob's elite expansion bonuses of their own, 25, 50, or 100%. So I think it's safe to say that as a person starts to accomplish some success, how minimal it is, and they feel comfortable with the program, obviously everybody would like to make more money, not less. So you can upgrade at any given time in the program, but obviously the quicker the person is committing to their own business, the more success they can have. Okay, so to thoroughly cover this, we talk about this being the mentor matching bonus. So obviously, as Jane would go out and help John, Mary, and Bob, if she was at the advanced packager commitment in the program, she would be making 100% match. So that means if she helped these 3 people make $1,000, she would match $1,000 in their elite expansion bonuses. If they made $5,000, she'd make $5,000. If one of the people became a superstar, then she obviously has a financial, responsibility and a reward for helping that person become successful. So obviously, the first 3 people are very important in the equation. Now, the exciting part about revenue shared squared is many things happen simultaneously. Sometimes it takes a few times to listen to the compensation strategy to grasp the power of what we're talking about. Everybody that purchased a business in a box also purchased the subscription package. And so remember, all this volume and all this activity was going down just 2 organizations. So in that last illustration, we showed up to 300 people. They're all going down simply 2 teams. So what we have here is the ability to create a mentor team, remember, and start our elite expansion team. And then we have a series of pools that pretty much happen, right, as an afterthought, as everybody gets to make daily revenue. And so what we do is we take another 60% of the subscription money and we throw it into another pool, and we split that up to all the people participating. And depending on how successful your team accomplishes through the ranks, right, you get a certain percentage of everybody's subscriptions all over the world. So you're not making money from the people, in this case, on the team you've established. It's only a qualifier. Now, how to get into the first series of pool, we call that the community. It's any 2 subscriptions. And then as we go move up the ladder to be in the mentor pool, as it shows right here, we see that we have to have our 3 people on our mentor team, and then the volume of the team needs to do 5,000 in subscriptions. Now, if we were to use just the global ambassador for illustration purposes only, it obviously take more people at the lower packages, but it would only take 20 people on the team to be in the mentor pool. And then, of course, to be in the visionary, as it shows here, we had to start our elite expansion team, and then the team would be about 48 global ambassadors. And then as we go through the ranks here, right, it goes into the small hundreds all the way to VIP pool 7, which would be about 2,000 people on a global level.
But you did this. Now, the VIP pool 7, your very first check in the former BTG, didn't you hit that? Your first check, I mean, my gosh, 2,000 people.
Yeah, we all didn't really know what we were doing in 2012. We were just excited to help kids, and there was a lot of people that wanted to also support our mission. And so, yeah, many thousands of people signed up in a very short period of time. And before I knew it, I was already at VIP Pool 7. Now, it might be a stretch. It might take a person, a long time to get there. But the income that can get generated out of VIP Pool 7 is multiple 5 figures. And so remember, we have to take in consideration, we still get to make the mentor matching bonus on the first 3. We still get all the expansion money. And now we add in this as a third element to revenue shared squared. And then we have additional leadership bonuses for people that make it to visionary and VIP pool 3, giving us a unique and very powerful compensation strategy that the world has not seen before. Now we have 2 titles beyond VIP pool 7. One is presidential ambassador. And here, once again, you have to have a $250 subscription package, but obviously, the 4 closest people working with you are probably there too, so you're not even paying the subscription anymore, and you get the bids for free. Here we see then in the first quarter, the company's going to offer us a Porsche Carrera convertible or the choice of a Mercedes CLS 550 AMG. Now, it's not a lease program. The company will hand you the keys and the title, and it is your car to keep. And you get a $10,000 shopping spree at Neiman Marcus. Now, from the second quarter thereafter, you get a $100,000 lifestyle bonus. Now, this is $1.5 million.
$400,000 just in lifestyle a year.
That's a guaranteed bonus on top of the VIP pools and all the things that we've talked about to this point. Now, that would be 1.5 million group volume, but that's really only 6,000 global ambassadors, right? That's at 250. It'd be more people at the lower packages, but we are incorporating now 100 countries that can participate in BTG180. So that is the second highest title. The highest title is Presidential Elite, and so we have 3 million in group volume. That would be the equivalency of 12,000 global ambassadors. Now that's a little bit less than your 160,000 people you built in a program last year. I think you even broke the software of the company, but
we did.
The good news is the bonus at this title is an additional $50,000 a month. So if you take $50,000 a month and add it to the Presidential Ambassador quarterly bonus, that guarantees $1 million in bonuses, hence creating the Million a Year Club. And then we have to add in VIP 1 through 7, the Visionary Mentor and Community Pool. Then we have to factor in the mentor matching bonus from your first 3 people, and then all the elite expansion money that gets created from the 4th person on with the first 3 to get 3 to get 3. So when you add that all up, I think most people would agree that it's a very powerful formula. But remember, 40 cents of every dollar is going to the company to cover the overhead, and everything else is going to children's causes. So here at BTG, we obviously are turning lives around. The first life we want to turn around is the individuals, because as I like what you like to say, and I say the same thing, a drowning person cannot help a drowning person.
That's absolutely correct.
So we want to get you strong, very strong financially, and then we sincerely hope that if we help you out on a financial basis, you can help us create the greatest company in the world that helps underprivileged and orphan kids. Well, I like to say the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. And Fernando, you've done a fabulous job here from the get-go. For the first couple of weeks, you've added some incredibly powerful people with the heart, people that are aggressive, and then of course there's lots of people around the world that doesn't even know we exist yet.
That's right.
So, this is the exciting time of relaunching our compensation strategy. We look forward to those people that are going to participate. But regardless of the decision that you make, I always wish you all the success in the world. Get back with the person that shared this with you. If you're already on the site, you might want to check out some of the other videos. And Fernando, thanks for helping us out here today. And thank you for participating. And God bless.
God bless.